evening is just enough, but first, please, if you can, be outstanding for the national anthem from Australia and, first of all, England.
Hey, right, there you go, right, whatever. I just walked my, oh, yeah, you fuck off. See, there you go. Oh, it's all right, man. It's all right, And here are the teams. We'll start with Australia. Number 1 is Leah Ayub. Number 2, Therese Gordon. Number 3, Jacqueline Simpson. Number 4, Kelly Kennedy. Number 5, Colleen Butcher. Number 6, Laura May. Number 7, Rachel McVicker. Number 8, Tiny Luck. Number 9, Serena Albert. Number 10, Kelly Phillips. Number 11, Katie Shaw. Number 12, Sophie Crouch. Number 13, Jasmine Spittle. Number 14, Kate Williams. Number 15, Rebecca Thompson. And number 16, Gia Galan. And your England team. Number 1, Sonia Land. Number 2, Catherine Jones. Number 3, Keisha Henley Miller. Number 4, Samantha Phillips. Number 5, Kylie Hutchison. Number 6, Nora Quinn. Number 7, Claire Davis. Number 8, Sue Ellen Murray. Number 9, Hannah Suzuki. Number 10, Katrina Weir. Number 11, Claire Waddell. Number 12, Lois Lau. Number 13, Claire Rylance. Number 14, Pamela Tiga. Number 15, Natalie Grimsey. And number 16, Samantha Powell.
Ladies and officials, this is your 5-minute warning.
And your referees, David Brown, Alec Clark and John Hamster. And the referee coach is Sarah Mason.
So welcome back to our 10 o'clock game, the women's 35s final between England and Australia. And I mean, they've got a lot to live up to. The game before was electric.
One for the ages, that last men's 40s match. New Zealand, the victors. Just a classic match here on field one.
30-second warning, please take to the
This
field. Ready to
women's
play.
35s final is a lot to live up to. But we've got two teams that are going to do their all, give it their all, leave everything out there. Last game of the tournament.
Australia dominant in the pool stages of this competition. They met England once. I believe the scoreline was 6-1 to the Australians. But as we know, anything can happen in a final, especially with all the spectators and all the pressure here on field one.
Yeah, and it is Australia to get us underway. Just a couple touches taken up the middle. We've seen this. Australia so controlled and measured in their line attack. It's Kennedy, Kelly Kennedy. Looking open side, it's beautiful. Butcher with the little switch underneath. Kennedy in motion. There is Kelly Kennedy looking to drive at the line. That ball's just drifted forward, but early warning signs for England.
Very, very lucky let off for the England team, and this Australian 35s team, they love to send it wide. Their top try scorer, Laura Bain, the number 6, is on the wing, and she's been electric. She's scored 18 at this World Cup already.
And we were saying, we've sort of been jesting a little bit. Best job in touch, Australian winger, but it's much more than just donning down gorgeous scores. You've got to be defensively acute as well as England, playing around the midfield press. However, ball goes forward, so 2 handling errors early doors.
Yeah, and this is where the pressure comes in. We saw this earlier with the women's 40s game. A lot of errors in the first 10 minutes, and I think the advantage will be whoever settles down the most and just plays through their set of 6.
Yeah, definitely, completely agree with you. It's going to be who can control the touch count and the error count. Going to come away with a victory here is Australia. Taking a couple touches at the box side, getting some fresh legs on. There's McVicker in the half. Another sweeper platform coming around. That's a brilliant strike dump. Step back is on, looks to drop off into the hole. Not quite doing, so England being tested, but standing up to the challenge.
Yeah, and a lovely sweeper play, creating that space on the inside. The timing of that sweeper run was perfection from Australia, but they've chosen to throw it back in field. England now getting a bit caught up around their sub box.
It's a little bit static. Sammy Phillips trying to inject some pace. That's a brilliant dump. Referee calling play on. It's 3-on-2, but intercept. It's Teresa Gordon on this near wing. Sorry, apologies. It's Laura Bain. England had an overlap. It was almost a 3-on-1, if not for a brilliant defensive intervention from Bain.
I thought that was a brilliant finish from a bit of a stuttering subset by the England team. And England have gotten through this final with their midfield D. They lost an earlier game to South Africa, but then rolled South Africa in the semi-final quite convincingly.
It's one of those sports where you really do save your best touch for finals. As we see Australia picking up, looking long. Ball does go long, it's just gone to ground. But once again, we've seen the pattern of play. Australia engaging both middles of England, kicking to the line, and then looking to throw that long ball.
Yeah, absolutely. They're definitely looking long, Australia. And that's going to be very strategic to make sure that these England wing and links stay quite wide. And I'm sure on the next couple of phases of play, they'll try and go through the middle of this England team as England get a piggyback up the field with an offside penalty.
It was Rylance driving at an offside defender. Really good call from the referees, and team ref definitely the third outfit. Got 3 world-class referees on pitch 1.
Yeah, we've got Caleb Downs, Alec Clark and John Hamstra being coached by Sarah Mason here on field 1.
Good line attack though from England. They look to reply with their own sweeper. Good opportunity to go on the outside. Oh, it was an offside defender. Did Pamela Teager, nothing doing. And back to Teager.
Pick up by Katrina Weir out to the wing.
It's a good attacking set, and even though they're not really getting over the line, one of the things I like to see from an attacking perspective is using the maximum amount of touches. Is you make Australia defend the maximum, and then you look to put a real big defensive shot on and force a turnover.
And you can start to string some plays together. Look at phase play as England. Very physical touch in there. Oh, I think he's saying that in the process of making that touch, Katrina Weir has just pushed down on that defender.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those nuanced calls, isn't it, where you're just taking the advantage away from Australia. As we see them go through their line attack, it's McVicker in the 7, just hovering around at the bottom of the screen. Lovely open side quickie. Katie Shaw looking to go over. Good covering touch. So Australia sort of not abandoned the sweeper play, but look for a different middle platform, as we see number 3, Simpson. Good platform pick up from McVicker. McVicker, oh, what a lovely hole hit. And in behind the onrushing England defence, Australia open the score.
Oh, this is going to look brilliant on the replay. The England defence were very tight here on the line, but the chop line from the number 14, Kate Hilliard, oh, the space that she worked her way through, the covering defence coming through, but a lovely chop line by Kate Hilliard. Here's a better angle, threading the defence. Lovely, lovely work.
It's eye of the needle stuff. As Australia open our scoring, a nice sweeper platform. There's an opportunity to dive at the line. And it was Keisha Headley-Miller trying to go over. And Australia just crowding England out, but once again, England are able to get over the line relatively easily. It's just that final 1%. Australia just so acute defensively.
Yeah, they're not letting any gaps open up in this Australian defence. And just look at their drives towards the sub-box. Third touch, over halfway. Lovely work by this Australian 35s team.
And England guilty of just rolling backwards a little bit. That's a better midfield touch. Getting up in the face is Rylance looking to put some pressure on, but the ball goes to the wing. Wraparound play is on, and the pace down the outside. And it's Layla Ayoub going over for Australia's second, and they turn on the flare.
Once again, just a really well constructed try. They've attracted the England link into that defensive structure, passed it through the hands, and the England winger didn't really have much of a choice but to go for that touch. And they've just hands off to the wing, and he's used the like down the sideline.
Yeah, it's one of those plays where transitional structure goes out the window. He just heads up play, find the overlap, they execute. England need to get a score on the board. Nice disguise, passive link, it's beautiful. Oh, the ball had to go, but that, I mean, almost a genius bit of disguise on the setup.
Sammy Phillips, number 4, she's a very experienced player for this England 35s team. Constructing that very well, and if not for the shutdown by Jasmine Spittle of the Australian team, that would have been a lovely try in for the England 35s.
So Australia have to be honest, because England will ask questions, and there's the turnover for England on halfway. So first 7 minutes, Australia 2 tries to the good, look very good value for it, but the last couple possessions, England finding their feet.
Yeah, they really are. That last attacking set was beautifully done. Claire Waddle driving it up the middle of the field. They've got some brilliant attacking players. Claire Waddle, who's picking up from half now. She's been instrumental in a lot of scores as she works. Little sweep play with Katrina Weir coming around the back of the ruck, but it's a pick up from Claire and just a handling error on the outside there.
England losing all their sort of depth in that attack, quite static. Needed to draw Australia out a little bit more and then really punch it through the middle. You see Australia do exactly that. A little bit isolated in the touch, so gives England a good opportunity to go and put a press on, as they do. 2 touches in pretty much the same field position.
Great defence here in the England midfield, but Australia picking it up from half, sending it wide again.
It's just the core skills of this Australian team. You see how flat and beautiful that spiral pill was to the wing. This occasion, England crowd it out, so good opportunity to get some fresh legs on. If England get the next score in, it's going to be a very close affair.
Unfortunately, just a handling error in there from Australia. They had, from England, sorry, and they've given Australia possession over their halfway line. Kylie Hutchison coming up and making the touch, another very experienced player in this 35 setup. But Australia in ideal field position to set up an attack here.
Beautiful ball manipulation in the midfield from Australia, just playing around England, relative ease. We see a bit of a static dump taken from Tani Luck. Luck now with Kennedy in half. Kennedy back to Look. Look looks for Kennedy. And it's that combination for me. Kelly Kennedy involved in everything positive at the moment in line attack. Here is Kennedy looking to go through a bit of a gap, and the ball to the wing is gorgeous. And Australia, and it's Kelly Kennedy, sorry, Tani Look going over, orchestrating that score in the corner. And it's Sophie Crouch.
Just caught the England defence a little bit napping there in the mids, and straight through the middle of those mid defenders. Desperation touch attempt, but lovely finish by Sophie Crouch for Australia.
And it's one of those where it's just the athleticism from Tani Look that burns this English defence, and England need the next score on the board. Passive link play again, they go hard. Nice phase, ball needs to go wide. That'll be 6 more. But England, that's the play for me. Twice they've come so close to getting over.
And this group of ladies on the field at the moment in attack, they've constructed that a couple of times now, and it's been shut down twice, but it looks very, very, very promising in terms of getting over this Australian scoreline.
Yeah, Sammy Phillips now at the half, working with Catherine Jones. Jones, Phillips, ML play. They come back to the short side. Flat ball to the wingers on. It's a good grab from Suzuki. It's just not quite happening. Australia able to crowd them out. The defensive spacing from Australia is just spot on. Sammy Phillips back inside to Jones. Phillips goes back to Jones. That's beautiful. Can she find the spare player? Jones is on the wing, and there is England's opener. 3-1, game on.
Lovely, lovely try. This has been the most dangerous pod in the England 35s team. And as we'll see, they set up for a sweeper play here, but it was a pick-up from half. She's gone in the opposite direction. Pick-up from Sammy Phillips. She's got some speed off the mark as well, and straight through. And lovely, lovely, lovely support play.
They never really had eyes for anyone else, did she? She was always looking for that middle partnership of Catherine Jones. And we'll see Australia look to go nullify that score. 3-on-2 option. Nice check off. And the way they run this sweeper setup is just befuddling the England defence, if not for a brilliant covering touch from 14 Pamela Tiga. So 2 crucial defensive interventions from Tiga needed to beat such lovely little dummy. Sold me as well. Did Katie Shaw, and that shows what Australia can do in attack.
Oh, great drive up the middle by Katrina Weir there. She's a lovely driver of the ball. Used to play for Scotland, but now in the England 35s team, and they're making the yards now. Lovely recycling of the ball to Kylie Hutchison in the middle. Lois Lau again with the ball. Unfortunately, a forward pass spotted.
It's one of those instances where they just needed a little bit more depth flooding onto the field, make that pass a little bit less obvious for the referees to spot. And as we said earlier, we've got 3 world-class refs, so any small infringement at the roll ball or forward passes, they're going to be hot on it. I've got a feeling it'll be, wow, the demons for Australia flooding onto the fresh legs. Oh, lovely option just to go and execute the 2-on-1 on the wing, and nice recycling of the play. The way that they save touches in the midfield means they've got extras to play with. You see them roll into their line attack now, and it's Butcher. Butcher looks to go over, working hard in line attack is England.
Great touch by Claire Rylance, the England link, but they've gone long again, but the covering defence is there that time.
Yeah, Tani Look once again involved in the Australian line attack, and she seems to be one of those sort of maestros of the orchestra, just pulling strings in the midfield. And England are coming up with the answers to the question Australians are putting to them. But you've got to be able to go up the other end and make your defensive shot count. It's a great drive up the middle, although that is 6-touch turnover. So England just losing track of the touch count there.
Yeah, and a different touch, a different driving pattern from England there. You can see they drove up the right-hand side of the field and tried to recycle 3 players on this close side. But I think that was all about making meters and getting deep into the Australian half.
Yeah, and you just want that field possession. For me, it's this area where Australia are just having all the joy that role that they're able to get on the English defence. I think someone from England just needs to be brave, go and make that red touch, sort of embrace the penalty, but let Australia know we're not just going to roll against you in this final, as we see a bit of an unforced error. And Suzuki, fortunately, ball goes down, and this is danger, especially when you've got the likes of Simpson. Great meters made again. It's just all too easy. The opening try scorer, Leia Ayub. Kennedy, you know how dangerous she can be. Here comes the support. It's Pilts. Pilts. Short side raid going over. Brilliant dive, and Pilts. I mean, it's another beauty from Australia.
She's just threaded her way through a couple of England defenders here. And this demonstrates the patience of this Australian 35s team as well. They were happy to just burn a couple of touches in the middle of the field while they got fresh legs on. And those fresh players came on this left-hand wing and just targeted this little hole between the link and the mid. There's barely a hole there, but the ability of these Australian players to exploit any space is just incredible.
Yeah, you can't give them even half a gap for a fraction of a second, because Australia will punish you. And it's Hutchinson trying to make something happen for England. That's hips not square at the base of the ruck. Good call from the referee. A bit of a coach killer from an English perspective.
Unfortunately, they were building to something there, and we've spoken about it on the comms before, but the refs have been all over that this World Cup, making sure that players make an attempt to square up after that play the ball as Australia finds some space.
Another good dump in the midfield as Australia roll into that attack. That's fifth touch, so they've got to go something from nothing. Nice double pump. Good opportunity down that outside. It was Rylance getting up and making a bit of a press, but once again, it's these midfield meters. Australia just chew up the ground so easily. England don't really have an answer for it right now.
No, and the players coming over in defence, they're coming from the link and the wing over on the other side of the field from Australia, trying to save their middles.
And they really do condense that field for England to run into. And as you say, it's almost like that funnel defence where they're always sending them back infield, not allowing England to use the hands. It's a bit of a defensive clinic from Australia in the 35s division. I was joking earlier saying, you know, if you want to play touch and play it at the highest level, be Australian, because they've got almost like an innate ability to play touch. But it's not just that, it's the quality of the coaching staff and the defensive structures, attacking structures, as we've seen them put another clinic on. There's a 4-on-3 as they look to execute. Ball is down, and it is indeed Katie Shaw going over for Australia's fifth try now, and it is just all too easy.
Yeah, they look very comfortable out there. Rachel McVicker, the number 7, she did some lovely yards in the middle, but what a dive through the England defensive line.
Just stepping back against the grain. Great footwork, left foot whack. And with just a little over 2 minutes left to go in this first half, it makes for grim reading from an English perspective. 5 tries to 1, and Australia just showing they are the best in this division. At least they'll claim to be, barring an England comeback. But Sammy Phillips will have something to say about that. Oh, it's absolutely stunning. Sammy Phillips and Catherine Jones, never put them in defence, because in attack they're the ones with the key to the Australian door.
It is that pod again from England. Lovely work. Sammy Phillips, Cat Jones take a bow. You can see Cat Jones shaping up for the dump there, and Sammy Phillips just another quick pick up and lovely soft hands out to that link hole. Great work by England, and they're back 5-2.
And I kind of thought that Catherine Jones could have gone down herself, but decides very unselfishly just to go and secure the pass, secure the ball, secure the score, no doubt about it. And England, I mean, for me, if I was in that England coaching box, I'd be saying, Sammy Phillips and Cat Jones, you are not defending for the rest of this game. Oh, it's beautiful once more. Ling hole, rinse and repeat. It is just an attacking clinic. Chloe Butcher, what a line cut off the ball.
Yeah, this was very classy. I think the link for England here just missed who her player was, because I think the middle had her middle covered. So we can see Katrina Weir making the touch and then the chase out, and Tiga, I think, thinking her play was right in front of her when actually it was the link who went on to score.
Yeah, and I think you need the call from the middle there as well, stay out, because as you say, they were numbered in the midfield, and again, like, that read, probably against any other team in the world, doesn't get punished. But against Australia, and we've been saying it all week, if you want to take it to the Australians, you have to string together that game of touch, that perfect 40 minutes. And I mean, New Zealand managed it in the game before by the skin of their teeth, and it seems like Australia have been buoyed by that. They don't want to let another gold medal slip through the grasp. As Hannah Suzuki, big shot on the wing, and that will bring us to half-time, and it's not quite a mountain, but it's getting steep for England.
Yeah, they really need to improve in this second half. Australia, just a precision team. As soon as they get a 3-on-2, they execute that every single time. And whenever there is those small gaps in the England defence, Australian are diving through, scooping through, just exploiting it any way they can. I think the midfield defence from Australia has been impeccable as well. You can see their next shooters on every set are already set on that onside line and are just shooting up as soon as that roll ball is played. I'd like to see a bit more of that from England. I think they're still rolling back slightly in the midfield to get onside before they shoot up, and that extra time Australia are just exploiting.
Yeah, definitely, and you've hit the nail on the head for me. It's the midfield battle that Australia are winning. So we're going to take a very quick break. Now it's Australia in the women's 35s final, winning 6 tries to 2.
Coming up at 11, we've got the men's 35s. Then at 12 o'clock, it's the mixed 30s. Presentations will happen on the stage by doing 2. And then at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and 5 o'clock is the open. Mixed, then again with the 10 men. The only matches in town here on Broadway. The fabulous stays open. The 7 days, big warm, stay hydrated, please. Don't just have a good day.
Nola. and I'm representing the Hydex programme, which is one of the sponsors of the Touch Rugby World Cup. Hydex is a collaboration of a number of universities based in the Midlands, including the University of Nottingham. One of Hydex's main aims is to support industry to innovate, developing new products and services in the hydrogen economy. We decided to sponsor the Touch Rugby World Cup, particularly in relation to energy use, so that Geopura, a locally based business, can provide hydrogen to be utilised at the event, making the event more sustainable and improving air quality for visitors and competitors.
So welcome back to what is another final. We've got back-to-back finals on pitch 1 for you today. On this occasion, it's the women's 35s, where Australia go into the half with a very comfortable lead, but England do have what it takes to stress them out. It's just not been consistent enough to cut the deficit down.
Absolutely, and cutting the deficit, it's not just about scoring tries, it's about defending out this incredible Australian attack. As we see Lois Lau driving up to the ball, she's a very, very dangerous player. Keisha Headley-Miller passing it back to Hutch. Little play around the back there, but just not quite coming off.
It had to go. It had to go. It was beautiful, really well orchestrated as England looked to go through a nice little cut underneath. But for me, that phase on the link was begging to go to the wing.
Yeah, there was a hesitation in my commentary, and I think it was matched by hesitation on the field, because I was expecting that pass to go. But here go Australia driving very strongly, as always, down their sub-box.
I think, again, that opening play really highlights the difference. Australia would have just dropped that phase off on instinct, recognising that they made a really good offensive read. So full credit to England for creating the opportunity, just not quite executing. And here come Australia. Another raid to the wing. It's brilliant hands and balls away. Once more, balls away. Could have been forward, not given.
Yeah, lovely hands by Laura Bain on the wing there as Australia keep this ball alive.
Feet. Little hitch kick, good setback, and Australia going to try and keep this play alive. Show and go through the middle, and that's a proper contender for trying the tournament. What heads-up play.
Keeping this ball alive, and they were losing metres and metres, but confident that they could ultimately break through this England defence, which is exactly what they did. And the hands throughout this set of possession were just amazing.
Yeah, and it was Serena Albert with a bit of a hitch kick to reinvigorate the Australian line attack, and it was Kate Hilliard with once again another score. And I mean, when you're up against players with such physicality, such athleticism, and the core skills to be able to pass around you with ease, you're always asking a lot from the defence to chase. But here comes this dangerous pod of Phillips and Jones. You see Jones enacting half at the moment. Phillips in the far link. She'll be cutting a hole off the ball. No doubt about it. Phillips back to Jones. 3-on-2. They've exposed that 3-on-2 really well. It's just those final connections not quite clicking when England need them to.
And the Australian defence covering when England don't really need them to do that either. But Australian defence here has been sublime.
Yeah, you could do with Australia for once making a bad defensive read. But nope, never going to happen. Australia so well drilled in defence. This is fifth though, so a little bit static, but we saw what they did last time off a static dump. Lovely wraparound play, 2-on-1, but Sammy Phillips with a try-saving touch.
Oh, so close there. We thought they were going in again, but just a little error in the middle of the field for Australia.
Yeah, a very rare error as well, the late pass, and another error, touch and pass. So England winning some marginal battles in the midfield. You'd say at half-time we were having a bit of a discussion. That's where Australia are definitely superior, as once again they forced the midfield turnover, and it's a little bit uncontested at the moment.
Yeah, forward pass given there by the referee. Looked very line ball to us, but the referees are in the best position, and at the moment we're playing in a 10-metre section of the field as each team just gives the ball to each other.
Like,
And-
even Australia didn't think it was a forward pass and went, oh, to be fair, here you go, guys. You can have another run at it. And England go, no, thank you, you deserve the ball. Here's another midfield turnover. And as you say, playing in a 10-metre channel, the pitch is much bigger than that, guys. You need to get some completion rate back up. And I know Australia, as always, dangerous. And a couple of collector items, really, for Australia. They look to go expansive, 2-on-1 overlap down the wing, no touch, beautiful show and go. And it once again, Kelly Kennedy just says, see you later to the English winger, and 6 turns into 7.
And this is just pace. This is just speed. Just getting on the outside of a player. She is rapid, Kelly Kennedy.
Kelly Kennedy sends the English winger to the shops. Here you are. Need a hot dog. See you later. Kennedy. I mean, Australia are just enjoying their time out there. As we see England roll into their line attack. Nice sweep of play in motion. Good passive link. Rylance with long ball to the wing, but just drifts forward. I'm really liking the endeavour and the imagination of the English setups. For me, it's just when that strike player receives the ball, it's too lateral. The recipe of success against Australia, as we saw New Zealand put an absolute clinic on, is take the ball flat to the line, be brave, ride that touch pass line really close, fix defenders, fizz it long.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I think it's just the time on the ball as well. Australia's so crisp in terms of their catching, passing, almost all in one movement. And with England, there's just that slight delay, which is giving Australia a chance to shut down the attack.
Oh, great hands. I really don't know how Serena Albert managed to keep that one in the hand. Seen many a player drop balls like in those areas. Not for Albert. And again, it's the difference in those core skills, just separating the two sides.
Yeah, absolutely. She's been one of the players of this game for me, Serena Albert. She's just been involved in everything. And an incredible workhorse here. And you'll see her at the start of a lot of these attacking plays that they've converted.
Yeah, we're seeing she's not just a workhorse, she's got feet. The little hitch kick for Australia's 6th score was beautiful. Once again, the meters that are made early doors on the Australian transition, it saves them touches, and then when they get to the line of attack, they still have 2 to play with, as we see more switches coming round. And it's beautiful. Simpson taking the ball down for Hilliard. We've seen what Hilliard can do at the line. Not on that occasion.
No, unfortunately not there. And it's great with this women's 35 division. In Malaysia, we only saw 4 teams in this division, including a Eurostars contingent. This World Cup, we've got 8 teams, and it's been incredibly competitive. South Africa and England having a real go at it against each other in the pool games in the semi-final, with England proving victorious.
And I think that just speaks to the growth of touch across the globe, as well as we said in the opening ceremony, which feels like only yesterday, but it was 7 days ago. This is the largest international touch competition ever, full stop. We've got the most amount of contingents here, most amount of teams. I mean, the support around the grounds is just insane. I was queuing up for nearly 35 minutes to get a sausage sandwich this morning, such as the people here.
And that doesn't speak about just the quality of touch, but the quality of sausage that we have available here in Nottingham
Go
in
to
2024.
Go to the hog roast, fan. It's top tier.
Katrina Weir driving a short line.
Yeah, a little bit static, isn't it? It's just not quite clicking. 32 short, nice. There's an early release on the wrapper, but sort of 6 of one, half dozen of the other in between the two onrushing attackers. For England, they're just seeming a little bit leggy, and I was actually having a conversation with one of my friends who's been watching all week. He's new to touch, as Australia looks to go around the outside, just not quite clicking, but he's relatively new to touch, and he was watching, and he said it's so fast paced. He's like, well, why does everyone seem so tired against Australia? Because you've got to work so hard to stop them. The pace at which they drive, the pressure that they put you under, it's almost like you're playing at 7 men at times.
Absolutely. And it's great to see countries really take it to Australia. We can see them in the sub box over there with their hands on their hips. They are taking in some deep ones as Lois out passes off to Claire Riley. It's a pick up from half. Lois gets through.
Well, it's fizzed into the face of the Australian link. It's better from England, sorry. Engaging defenders, getting offside calls. We're going to need more of that.
Lois Lau, she's won a gold medal at tag rugby, multi-code athlete, and her ability to get through some defences. Lovely little inside ball to Keisha Headley, but the touch was in. I'd like to see some more scoop play from Lois. I thought she was almost through the line there and didn't have to throw that pass quite so early.
She's got Wales as Lois Lau, and there she is on the ball. Early release, good option. Ball to the wing is on. Little wraparound play could have been there for Rylance. And it was Hannah Suzuki working with Rylance. A couple more. So Lau look to run the ML play. She does. Little bit lateral. Engages at the line. Lovely floater to the wing. And if touch wasn't made, it was. So another try saver in the corner. But as you say, Lois Lau really holding her hand up at the moment, saying, no, I'm going to do everything I can to see if we can get a score. Dummy switch, ball to the wing is on. They just look to kill it over this side. Ball down. Once again, England using the full accompaniment, set of 6. But with 10 minutes left to go, they really need to start chalking up tries on the board.
Yeah, great to see a couple of long balls from Kylie Hutchison and Lois Lau. Very unlucky not to get the try on the far side. And this is much better midfield defence from England. You can see them really shooting up now and trying to shut down this Australian attack. That's 5th touch there.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if it's 5th when you've got gas and feet. Such a Serena Albert, and they look to find the spare player. They do, and Albert is having an individual performance of the ages. Look at this speed, and Chloe Butcher, the beneficiary. Take nothing away from the finish from Chloe Butcher, has to find the space, it does, but this try is all about Serena Albert.
Yeah, lovely patience to look back around. Great floating ball over the top across England hands up there. Serena Albert, she has been everywhere.
And she really can move as well. For me, it's the acceleration off the mark, the way she eats up the ground off. Yeah, made the first 2 meters. England just chasing shadows.
Sweeper play. Catherine Jones with the ball.
A nice phase option. Oh, should have gone to Sammy Phillips. It was destined for Phillips, but lovely disguise on the setup again. They'll look back at this and think, God, we left some opportunities out there.
We were both just pushing the ball out to the other side of the field in the commentary box.
Almost blowing through the mics. That way, not quite clicking. But, I mean, take nothing away from England, right? You've secured yourself a silver medal, absolute worst case scenario, which is no mean feat. To do that in such a competitive division is sincerely impressive. But they'll watch back this game, I'm sure they will, and they'll recognise that, yeah, the scoreline is 9-2 to Australia, and they've deserved the lead, don't get me wrong. But they'll watch this back and go, yeah, we really did stress them. There was opportunities out there, and it's that final 1% that's not quite clicked.
And in past World Cups, I think a silver medal would have been the goal for an England side like this women's C5s, but not anymore. Their goal now is a gold medal. They now hold themselves to these standards that are set by the Australian New Zealand teams. Little pass out to Katrina Weir, and the touch coming in, but lovely inline run by Katrina there. They're creating opportunities, they really are.
That was nicer for me. Fixing defenders, just literally running straight at the Australian defence and checking off almost blind. And England, 7 minutes left to go, and looking good value in their line attack. I thought that should have been a turnover as well on that far side. Not given. Oh, lovely show and go, no touch, and the pace is just beautiful. And how unselfish. Check off to the wing, Hannah Suzuki gets over, and I believe makes an absolute try saver.
What a cracking passage of play. Some lovely passing from the Australian team, but Hannah Suzuki with a try saver. A pill over the top from the Australians as they expand this English defence. Wow, what a passage of play there from both teams.
Just ate up the ground as well. Had 2 players to mark, no bother. And England, once again, I mean, there's not very many teams that can front up from an athletic perspective against Australia, such as the conditioning of the players. But England are really sort of showing, okay, this 35s division is still growing across the world, but they're showing that actually with time and investment and training, commitment, they can take it to Australia.
100%, and great drives down the middle of the field. Lois Lau with the ball again, danger player to Claire Rylance. And a penalty on the 7 metres.
Yeah, Lois Lau and Rylance really enjoying their time on line attack, but as we've seen, it's going to take a moment of magic to unlock what is the world's best in the 35s in terms of defence. Lau, Rylance in motion, doesn't go to Rylance, now does, but there's an intercept, but penalty. Offside, so England get away with that one.
I think that was for the defence not moving forward, and it was on the tip of my tongue that the Australian defenders were dropping very, very, very early, and I think that's their second penalty on the line now to Australia.
Yeah, it is indeed, and you don't want to give Lau loads of opportunities. Here is Lois Lau checking off, looking to dive at the line. Big contact. The NRL season's still a few weeks away. This is touch, as we see. Another roll ball.
England need to be patient here and keep on trying to draw out this Australian defence, but we've had...
I believe that was that half court. I'm not sure. There was no hand signal from the referee.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a strange one, but turnover nonetheless. England had touches to play with for my count, and unfortunately surrender the ball. And look at the way that this Australian side's just able to play around England like they're not even there. And here we go, here she is, big show and go, not going through this time was Serena Albert. We've seen the flash feet from Albert. On that occasion, England come up with a defensive read.
Nice little ball on the inside, getting a few extra metres, England, but unfortunately a forward pass.
It's unfortunate. And Australia just in the final 4 minutes really just putting on a bit of a clinic against what looks to be, unfortunately, a bit of a leggy England defence, and you can't afford to be leggy, especially when Albert's on the ball. I want to see those flash feet again. Middle, quickie. I would just say no, not on that occasion. We'll slow the ball down. Albert in acting half. Here is Albert, looks for the QB, goes long ball to the wing, and a good covering touch. So England, good defensive set.
Yeah, lovely defensive set from England. We've just got an injury in back play to one of the Australian players.
Well, it looks like a sore one. There's just been a fair bit of discomfort on the floor, struggling to get back to her feet. We sincerely hope that she's okay. We don't want any severe injury, especially to the back. We've seen a couple nasty ones in the past, and she looks to be up on her feet. Applauded off the field, and that's touched to a tee. It's sportsmanship. We're clapping in the commentary box as well. It's sportsmanship all over the park. As you see the supporters, there's literally thousands of people down at Highfields today watching the finals day of the Touch Rugby World Cup. Oh, lovely feet, almost like she was through a gap there. That would have gone up for an amazing roar if she'd been able to go full length.
Yeah, now the Australian defence shut it down.
It's just that midfield battle, as you know, it's very astutely called at half-time. Australia just dominant in the midfield. Can't afford to give players like McVicker and Butcher time on the ball. Here is Butcher in acting half, working with Pilts. Pilts now looking for the wing. Long ball is on. Check back is beautiful. And did the touch come in from Pamela Teager? It did not. So another one for Australia, just playing around the onrushing defender. Leah Ayoub opened the scoring, potentially sees out the scoring. It feels quite poetic for Ayoub.
Absolutely, and Pilt sending a pill to the outside, to Ayoub, and they've looked very dangerous on the outsides, and it came off the back of exceptional defence. That's where they're winning this game.
Yeah, and again, it's sort of what I was saying in the first half. If you can force a defensive shot against a leggy defence, you give yourself opportunities, and a bit of a mismatch on the outside edge as we come into the final minute of this game.
England with a repeat set after a penalty. They'll want to get over the scoreline here. They've got some danger players out there. Kylie Hutchison, Lois Lau.
You see Lau now. Sweeper platform. Australia dropping off, numbering up really well, and Lau working with Hutchinson. Gonna have to be a little bit more direct at the line if they want to get over. 30 seconds remain. Lau looks long. That was a nice line cut off the ball by Rylance. But again, it's just the execution moments that aren't quite happening for England. And Australia, well, dominant. Good value for what will be, well, another gold medal. They'll love that one.
Yeah, one-sided scoreline, but incredibly entertaining touch played by both teams. Some really, really lovely scores in there. As we hear the siren go, we'll play this last penalty, but lovely, lovely entertaining touch and a dominant Australian team.
Oh, truly dominant in this women's 35s final as Lois Lau just trucks up the middle, takes the touch, and that will bring us to full time. Australia 10 tries to 2 against a very valiant England side, which did run them close.
Yeah, they did. And we see scorelines like this, but the gap is closing. And what the Northern Hemisphere needs is experience like this, games like this, and we'll continue to see closer and closer finals.
And it's the ability to play touch at this level more consistently. Me and Adam were discussing what's it going to take. Well, it's going to take for nations like England, Lebanon to be able to play against the world's best more consistently. And they did play against the world best, unfortunately not happening for them on this occasion. Australia just a cut above the rest. And we are going to take a very quick break, and we'll throw down, potentially throw down to on-field for an interview if we can get a